Why your adult child shuts down when you try talking about change. A lot of you parents know what I'm talking about, right? So many parents experience this exact pattern. Every time they try to talk about change, things like moving forward, responsibility, bad habits, getting a job, school, their anxiety, motivation, or whatever needs to happen next, right? When they try to talk about those things, their adult child shuts down. Maybe it's an emotional shutdown. Maybe they just leave the room. Maybe they get defensive. Sometimes they get angry. Maybe they just avoid the conversation completely, right? But over time, it creates this horribly awkward cycle where it feels like nothing can really be talked about anymore. Nothing can really change. Now, many parents look at this situation and they come to some common conclusions. Parents go to, well, they're just lazy or they're being defiant. And I want to talk to you openly, honestly about that tonight because there is some truth in those words, right? If by lazy you mean they're not taking responsibility, they're avoiding difficult things, they're blowing off what needs to happen next, then yes, there is some truth to that. And if by defiant you mean they're resisting your guidance, they're refusing help, they don't want to do what you're asking, they're just flat out being a pill about it, right? They then yes, right? There's some truth to that defiant statement as well. But here's what I want you to hear. Those explanations are too simple. They don't explain the whole picture. See, years and years, right? After years and years of sitting with young adults who feel stuck, right? They're in my office. I'm talking to them wherever. I have never met one where there wasn't something deeper going on than simply, I don't care. It's taken some time, right? It's taken some long conversations to get to the bottom of it. But what I've learned is most of the time they are being avoidant. What are they avoiding? Underneath that avoidance, most often, it's fear. Fear of failing, fear of screwing up, fear of disappointing you, fear of being judged, fear of looking stupid, fear of not being capable, fear that their anxiety is going to overwhelm them, fear that they're already behind everybody else. Sometimes their fear is very specific, right? They have social anxiety, fear of judgment, fear of being around people, or just fear of new situations. And sometimes that fear goes even deeper. It's kind of like the deepest type of fear, shame, right? The belief that I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm a fraud. I'm disappointing everyone. I'm a disappointment to everyone. I'm never going to measure up. I want you to think about that for a moment. If that's what's happening underneath, fear and shame, if that is what is happening underneath, it makes sense why somebody would want to avoid, right? Avoiding becomes protection.